Now, this is our usual tabular analysis where we mark out our smart money key levels and zones that we expect price to react to when price get to that area, or we expect price to have a breakout. All right. Now, we're going to be doing this on USDCHF, that's USD Swiss franc, and we're going to be looking at Euro USD as well. So to start with, this is the weekly time frame on USD CHF. Now, the overall trend, as we can see on my screen, is bearish. USDCHF is currently bearish. You can see that. We have a kind of change of character here and a break of structure. So this is the most relevant area I want us to look at. So whenever you open up your chart, you have to pay attention to the most relevant area that you feel price is reacting currently at and reacting from. So at this juncture, we're going to be marking out the break of structure we have and the change of character. This is the break of structure at this point. We also have we can maybe properly place it at the overall break of structure, and this is like a change of character for us too, because price formerly was bullish. Guys, you can see it was formerly bullish, but at this point, it started retracing back, and we have change of character at the top. We have also a break of structure. Now, looking at the most relevant area at this point on USDCHF, we have an order block that has formed out already at this point. So this break of structure and this change of character, so to say, initiated this order block initiated this break of structure, so to say. You can see the order block it was marked out. All right, it was what initiated this push to the downside. And as well as we have one order block here, we have a very tiny break of structure here, a very tiny one. Being a weekly time frame, it might not really show out like that. But then as we proceed to the lower time frames, we'll get to see it. But there's one here, and there's also another order block here, initiated by the push to the downside. So now if we scale down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll get to see it clearly. To the daily time frame, so let's see that clearly. Don't forget, this is on USD CHF. So we marked out these two areas, both the break of structure and the order block. So you can see what is on my screen. This first one we marked out. This order block is here, and you can see the break of structure we marked out is very, very valid. So let's kind of refine them properly. So to this order block we have, we're just going to refine it a bit to fall in line with what price is currently doing, the area price is currently reacting from. So this is the order block we have here, and then this other one too. We have to refine both of them. So the area price is currently at. So this is the order block we have. So we get to see what price will do. Then let's look at what price is currently doing. But those areas are areas that we expect price to reverse back to. It might be in hours, might be in days. So this is what we have currently. So we can see that price is bearish. So we have another break of structure to the downside here. We have another break of structure to the downside here. This is an indication that price is bearish. So just pay attention, you get this correctly. So this is how you mark out your levels, your key levels that you feel price might be writing from. So over here, we've marked out the break of structure, and then this other block here was what caused or initiated the break of structure we just marked out. You see this other block I'm marking out? All right, so let's extend it to relevant area. Let's make it very, very visible. Okay, don't forget this is on USD Swiss franc. So let's make it align properly. Okay, so price already tapped into this order block, guys. Price already tapped into it. So, and price is currently heading downwards. So at this point in time, being that this is daily time frame, you can't possibly take any trade from here. You just need to be patient, scale down to lower time frames to see what we could possibly have, what the market could possibly give to us. So why this is on a daily time frame, we have a break of structure indicating that price is bearish, keeps going bearish. We have an order block that price already tapped into, and then we're expecting a push, further push to the downside. So we'll scale down to the 4-hour time frame. Let's see, let's have a clearer picture of what we have. Now on the 4-hour time frame, guys, this is what I'm seeing on my screen. Okay, I'm seeing break of structures giving us indication that price is very much bearish, pushing massively to the downside. This is the break of structure at this point. This is another break of structure here. This is a clear indication, guys, that price is massively pushing to the downside. And what else? Now, we have an origin or a kind of order block that initiated or caused this break of structures to the downside. Now, the most visible one I want to mark out and the most relevant one being this one. Okay. So we extend it to the relevant area that we feel price might react from or price is already reacting from. Now, this is the order block. All right, you can see this particular order block has been mitigated by price. It has been mitigated by price. So what do we do next? We look at the most relevant areas. This particular one has been already mitigated by price. So price tapped into it and pushed to the downside. All right, it did its thing. And after that, what happened? After that, what happened? There's a massive reversal. Price reversed back. You can see what price did after pushing to the downside, probably smashing any take profit there. So it gave a kind of double bottom, all right, giving out a massive push to the upside and a break of structure. You can see this break of structure. This is not to say that price overall trend is bullish now, but internal break of structures, you know what it means. Price could react, move up and down, but the overall structure is bearish. So, but then at this point, let's figure out what price did here. Now, price gave this break of structure, all right? When it reversed to the upside, price gave this break of structure and leaving an order block below. There's an order block resting here that price gave. Okay. So I'm trying to mark out internal break of structure. So this order block, what happened? After price gave that break of structure, what happened next? Price came back and tapped into the order block. You can see, guys, price reversed back. After giving us this break of structure, I'm talking about this break of structure. After giving us this break of structure to the upside and leaving an order block here, price pushed to the upside and reversed back, tapped into the order block and did what? And dished out a push to the upside. So after tapping into the order block, swept liquidity around it. You see it's currently pushing to the upside. But then don't forget, on the daily time frame, we marked out this level. This order block we marked out, this sell-side order block we marked out. On the daily time frame, I see price heading to it, probably to tap into it and push into the downside. So these are key levels you must pay attention to. You must kind of give more attention because price might just get to that area, break through it or respect it. So the need for top-down analysis on a weekly basis is for you to know what price could possibly do throughout the week. Now, this is on the 4-hour time frame, and this is what we've been able to ascertain on the 4-hour time frame. So we'll push over to the 1-hour time frame. Let's see what we have on the 1-hour time frame. Don't forget, we're paying attention to the most relevant areas. Now, this is the most relevant area on the 4-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame rather, and on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that price is bullish. This is not to say again that the overall trend is bullish. No, the overall trend is bearish, but you have to take advantage of the internal break of structures as a Forex trader. So what we currently have here is a bullish push to the upside. Now we have a break of structure here to the upside. This is an indication that on a 1-hour time frame, the market is bullish. So what do? We start looking for possible entries on the 1-hour time frame, like on possible areas we can mark out on the 1-hour time frame. Now, being that we have this break of structure to the upside, this other area, other block we marked out on the 4-hour time frame, we just have to adjust it and refine it a bit. Now we pay attention to what we're seeing on our chart. Now on the 1-hour time frame, we have kind of breaker structure that caused we have this other block rather that causes breaker structure. So we have this other block here. So we mark it out to the most relevant area that we feel price might react from or to. So this is the order block we have on the 1-hour time frame, and I see price coming back to react from that area. All right, I see price coming back to react from that area. Then we have another little order block resting here. We have up to like 2 or 3 order blocks. Now we have a little breaker structure to the upside. Don't forget, guys, this is happening on USD Swiss franc, USDCHF, and over there we have another block resting here. This is order block 2. Order block 2. The first one marked out is the order block 1. So this is the order block 2. Let's mark it out correctly. Okay, now there is another breaker structure I'm currently seeing. There's now upside breaker structure, a breaker structure to the upside. And what happened? We just have more like a demand zone at that area. We just have more like a demand zone at this point. That's what I'm seeing here. There's no other block here that is currently visible, and there is no fair value gap at this point. So more like a demand zone, and price could also react from it. So price could respect this zone for sure. But then we have majorly 2 other blocks and a demand zone. And you can see price retracing back from this level. It's currently retracing back. But we can't just conclude. We have to move over to the lower time frames. So let's look at the 30 minutes time frame. Okay, now it's becoming clearer. All right, it's becoming clearer. Now the other blocks I marked out on the 1-hour time frame, they stay as should be. They remain there. We can just refine them. A bit so that we work more with the relevant levels, relevant key levels. That is not to say the other blocks on the 1-hour time frame are not relevant. They are, and price could possibly retrace back to them, but then we just have to keep them by the corner and look at the most relevant area. Now on the most relevant area, we have this breaker structure. See very much valid and important. See this breaker structure, see very much important. And then you can see this other block we marked out, and this demand zone we marked out on the 1-hour time frame because there was no visible order block or fair value gap on the 1-hour time frame. Now we marked it out on the 1-hour time frame as demand zone. Now on the 30 minutes time frame, there is a visible order block and fair value gap. So it's very much valid. So it's a very much valid order block. So mark it out correctly. So now this is happening on the 30 minutes time frame, and I see price retracing back fully to tap into this order block. That's what I see price doing. And over here, there's a breaker structure to the upside. There's a breaker structure to the upside on the 30 minutes time frame. Price already broke the structure, and there's also a tiny order block that I'm seeing here. There's a tiny order block I'm seeing here. Okay, it's very valid, a very valid one, because we have a breaker structure to the upside. So when you're refining this a bit more, you see that the breaker structure is very much valid. But then we scale it onto the 15 minutes time frame, guys, to see if we have a possible entry. Okay, so we refine the levels, we refine it properly, and this other block we marked out, we refine it properly. Okay, we refine it properly. So this is the other block sitting here. is kind of large. See this green candlestick? This is our order block, because above it we have a break of structure and above it we have an inefficiency. There's an inefficiency resting here. So this is our order block, not this red candle, but this green one. And we have a break of structure to the upside, so making this order block very valid. So what we could possibly see next is price reversing back to either of both order blocks and respecting them. So we see price pushing to the downside just as we can see on our screen, and two things can happen. It could get to this other block, respect it. You could also get to this other block and respect it, but then I see this other block to hold more. I see this other block to be stronger, this first other block. So if I'm going to take a trade, it's going to be from this other block, and then the price could use this one as an inducement, break through it and come down to this other block. So now if I have to draw out my two to check what we possibly have, the risk to reward, let's see. Let's say we have our entry from here, we have a stop loss slightly below. Okay, we'll have a take profit to the point of reversal at this point. This is what we possibly have. And this is like 1:4 risk to reward ratio. 1:4 risk to reward ratio. Yeah, somewhere around here, guys. So this is a very good trade to take. But today being Monday, we have to be patient to see if from now to the end of today being Monday, as at the time I'm making this video is Monday, let's say if price is going to retrace back to the areas we're expecting it. So I'll just take one or two pictures for my thumbnail and for my YouTube update. So we'll move over to Euro USD. This is on USDCHF. This is on Euro USD, and this is the weekly time frame. All right, so we're going to be looking at what price is currently doing and what price is going to do throughout the week. Mark out our levels as normal and as usual. Now we have a break of structure and we're looking at the relevant areas, the most relevant areas. So this is weekly time frame, Euro USD. We have a break of structure to the upside. The overall trend is bullish. We also have another break of structure. We also have another break of structure, this to the upside. All right, so two major break of structures here, and the other block that initiated these break of structures, we also need to mark them out. So the first thing is to establish the direction of the market, which we have done. All right, so the overall trend is bullish on Euro USD, unlike USD CHF. And we also have one more order block that caused this break of structure, but we'll scale down to the lower time frame, to the daily time frame, to see what we have. Now this is on the daily time frame, guys. Now we've just scaled down from the weekly time frame to the daily time frame, and so what do we possibly have? This area we marked out previously is still very much relevant. You can see this order block. This order block on the weekly time frame is still very much relevant, but then we have to adjust it a bit more. We have to adjust it, like kind of refine the level to, to suit the relevant movement of the market. So just keep it by the corner and let's look at what we possibly have on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, we have a break of structure to the upside, indicating that price is still very much bullish. You can see the break of structure, but then we don't have an order block here. We just have more like a demand zone. All right, but over here we have a break of structure and we have a tiny order block here. So we'll just mark out the order block so that we can proceed from the daily time frame to the 4 hour time frame, where we can possibly push forward and know what the market is doing. But then this order block, in as much as it's relevant, is being mitigated by price. You can see we have an order block here, but price already pushed to the upside and tapped into it. So we're scaling over to the 4 hour time frame from the daily time frame. So let's see what the market is going to give to us. The areas and the key levels we're going to mark out, okay? So the most relevant areas we're going to look at. So This is on Euro USD as like I said before. So let's see. Now the market is bearish at this at the on the 4-hour time frame. The market is bearish from what we can see, and we just have to mark out the areas properly. So let me clear my chart a bit. So on the 4-hour time frame, the market is bearish. So we have this overall break of structure to the downside on the 4-hour time frame. So we'll mark it out. And what else do we have? Okay. I think there is another tiny break of structure to the downside here. All these are indications, the price is bearish. Okay, this one is still forming out. So, but then we have this order block that initiated this break of structure here. There is an order block here that initiated this break of structure, so we'll mark it out correctly. You can see here, guys. So we'll have to mark it out to the most relevant area, and this is to let you know what we currently have in the market. So price already tapped into it. You can see the breaker structure, the order block, and price already tapped into it. So price is definitely pushing to the downside. This is a clear indication that price is bearish. So what we could possibly see next is price pushing to the downside. But before then, price already formed another breaker structure to the downside here. Internal breaker structure, guys, this is going to be more visible on the 1-hour time frame. Now it gave us an order block here, and you can see what price is doing. Price is trying to retrace back and possibly tap into the new order block before pushing to the downside. So we're going to mark it out. So we have this breaker structure to the downside here, and what next? We have an order block here. So we're marking out the order block. Okay, tiny but very, very relevant. So I see price retracing back to this order block. Okay, so this should be the next expectation. So price tapping into it, pushing up to this order block and dropping further to the downside and breaking this structure. You can see this is the point of reversal, but I see price breaking it. So let's scale down to the 1-hour time frame and see what we possibly have. Okay, yeah, on the 1-hour time frame, let's look at the order blocks we marked out. Okay, this order block is very much relevant, but we'll just have to refine it. Okay, and the break of structure we have to the downside is still very much very relevant. So we'll have to mark both of them, because price could also get to this first order block, this first sell side order block. But then price is already reacting from this one. You can see that price is already reacting from this one, this second order block. So this is first order block, this is second one. Price is already reacting from here. Okay, and the next thing is price tapping into it and dropping further. So that is what I see currently. So let's get to see what happens. So I'll just refine it a bit. So we're going to scale down to the 30 minutes time frame to see if the levels we just marked out will be respected. So on the 1-hour time frame, I see price tapping into this second order block and dropping further. All right, I see price doing that. So let's scale down to the 30 minutes time frame. Okay, so the most relevant areas or levels are the areas or levels we're going to be looking at. So this same order block we marked out on the 30 minutes time frame is very, very much valid and relevant too. So we'll see what price is going to do. It's still very much intact. Nothing has changed. So we can only refine it a bit to fit the order block properly. Okay, So the order block is valid and relevant. So we get to see what price we do when price gets there. But then you know how the market moves. I can see something else on my screen. Now on the 30 minutes time frame, we have a new breaker structure. All these are internal breaker structures that you must pay attention to. Price already broke a structure, bearish to the downside, a structure to the downside. So it also gave us another order block. You can see there's an order block resting here, which it has already got into. Price already got into this order block. Price has already got into this order block and has tapped into it. So two things could happen here. Price could either push to the upside this second order block, or this first order block on the 30 minutes time frame, or price could use this second order block. So here that we have price could possibly start pushing to the downside, maybe respecting this order block. So these are the things you should be looking at for this week, and this is happening on the 30 minutes time frame. So we get to check out the 15 minutes time frame to see possible entries that we can mark out. Now on the 15 minutes time frame, the most relevant area is this order block that we have here. So this order block that we have here, we get to see price maybe reacting to it. So we have to just refine it a bit more, but it's very, very relevant and valid. So this order block, and refining it, we have it somewhere here. And I think this is what we have for now. And we have to refine this breaker structure. We have another breaker structure to the downside. We have another one to the downside. So, but let's use this one. Let's refine this one properly. Let's refine it properly. So all the way from the 30 minutes time frame, this is what we have. Okay, while we keep this one here, we just have a new one to the downside here. So this is what we have on the 15 minutes time frame. And if I have to draw out my two, let's see what we have. Let's see what we have on the 15 minutes time frame. So my short two, because we're going bearish. So for this, I don't need to rush. If I have to take this trade, I don't need to rush, because I see price sweeping. All the way to the upside. You can see here above this swing low. That's what I see price doing. So I'll be very much patient if I'm to go into this trade or going for this trade. And the risk to reward is like 2:3, right? 1:3 risk to reward ratio. But then I have to be patient on this trade, because the stop loss is very large. You can see if you have to take this trade, you must make sure you have your stop loss above this swing low. That is what we have currently. So I would rather wait to see what price you do around the zone. All right, this type of trade, patience, okay? It calls for patience, else you might just misfire. The stop loss is large above the swing low, which is normal. Everything here is normal, right? But then you need to be very careful. Price might not just respect this order block, just respecting it like that. Price might just sweep around this zone and push a bit to the upside. So we just be patient and wait to see what price could possibly do around this zone. So let me just extend it a bit more. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So I'll be taking 1 or 2 pictures for my thumbnail. So guys, we've come to the end of this top-down analysis on USDCHF and EURUSD. So, but this is what is obtainable. So this is what I see, happening this week. Either price respecting these levels or breaking them. So as we proceed throughout in this new week, we get to see if we have good entries, good setup. So take care of yourselves, guys. Now I'll see you again in my next video, and bye for now.